Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining our information session. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, everybody. Always a delight to have you on board. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining on short notice. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. Thank you all. We are live. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everybody. All right, let's tell everybody else we are live. Let me just ping everybody else that we are live. We kick off in the next 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody. All right, thank you, thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody. Always a delight to hang out with our folks. There are many things you can do on a Wednesday evening, and you choose to hang out with us. Thank you all. Thank you for doing that, folks. Thank you for the time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Mm. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll kick off in the next 30 seconds. We'll be straight to the point. I'm not going to waste time at all. Thank you, everybody. Once again, thank you all for taking the time out this evening to hang out with us. So, what we want to do today is just to talk a little bit about the upcoming cyber program. A lot of people have asked me the question, and I think it's just the right time to talk about it a little bit. And feel free to type your questions. Thank you, Queen Obi. Awesome. Thank you. Finally, you joined us today. It's a delight. And feel free, you can type your questions, you can type any concern. I'll put some of those comments up there. Today, my goal is some of you were part of the information session last week also, and we had a few of our recent students coming to talk about their experience in doing the interview. And if you've been part of our Lions Den interview preparation, you will see that we also prepare our team constantly for interviews. So some of you have the questions: do you guys help with interviews, mock resumes? The answer is yes. We are always here to support you. Now, we are not of the illusion that when you apply to something, it's automatic. No, we don't play that game. We are transparent with our folks here. We know we have to put the time, we have to put the work, we have to put the effort. So we are not playing games. We know we have to put that work. But the beautiful thing is this: you would hold us accountable by making sure we are teaching you relevant things relevant to the jobs out there. And our goal is to make sure we also align with what the trends are, make sure that you learn the top notch areas, things that would create opportunity immediately for you. And once you're done with the program, our expectation is we start applying immediately. Really, we take a chance on live, get into sales mode, aggressively apply to places, and make the best out of the process in general. So today I'll just talk about the program itself, what it entails. I'll share a few slides and ask all your questions. There's no wrong or right question, and I would address some frequently asked questions also. Then after that, the floor is yours. We'll keep it as quick and straight as possible. And I just want to make sure we do justice to you all to make sure you have value for the program tonight and your time. In the next 30 minutes, I think we should be able to wrap a lot of things up depending on the questions that is being asked also. All right, let's talk about what's going to be covered in this program, just to give you an idea in general. So a lot of people ask, okay, I'm struggling. I don't know what this cyber is all about. I'm just confused. I'm everywhere. Relax. You're in the right place. Just to keep you calm a little bit, okay? There's no programming. There's no math. There's no crazy coding, nothing like that. So calm down, let's take a chill pill. None of those is applicable to us. Okay, so we are good there. The second thing is that the topics we'll cover, one thing I'll guarantee you, I rarely ever guarantee anybody, but I'll tell you this. None of you on this call, if you're part of our program, would ever get to a situation you will shrink, meaning you will feel awkward. No, it's not gonna happen, okay? Because all of the key things you would have learned would prepare you mentally for any environment and the situations around it. Of course, you would learn more along the line. You build your capacity and your competency. Yes, but you would never be lost. Nobody's going to talk over your head. Oh, they are talking about asset management, inventory management, identity access management, incident response, whatever it is. You would be good. I guarantee you that because mentally, the projects we are working on would cover all of those areas. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. Of course, there are some elements I will make you do. My only challenge is, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to commit to each other, right? Zero excuses. I'm not just an instructor, I'm pretty good at that too, but I'm more importantly a mentor. I just want to call out the greatness in you already, right? I want to be a footnote in your story of greatness. All of us have the capacity to do anything. I was with a gentleman, probably he's on this call, and he called me today. He was telling me the first thing he said is, "Hey, man, I'm an old man, I'm 40 something, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Oh, listen, man, I know what you're saying." But the reason I just personally, we have to mentally get our mind right, very important for anything we do. So you will see me immediately when I realize, oh no, 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 this is a flag. I'm not gonna make this even have a root in you because at the end of the day, it's a mind game. Really. There are a lot of people in leadership position, I guarantee you, not as smart as you, not as intelligent as you. The opportunity showed up, of course, and they took advantage of it. So never shortchange yourself. All right. Never talk yourself down. Never. We don't play that game here. Okay. So we're going to cover asset management and simple term. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if God forbid, if there's a burglar that comes to your house today, the first thing the cop is going to ask is what was stolen. And bless your heart, I hope you have a list of what you have in your home, right? So asset management is just how do you manage your assets? Do you have a list of your assets? That's it. In IT also we have assets. The assets we're talking about in IT, you would agree with me, would be like our laptop, our data, our servers, our notebook. Any of those systems will be considered the organization asset, and we have to keep track of it. The second one talked about incident response. Let's keep it simple. I'm saying if there's an incident, the CEO of Cisco said something. He said there are two types of company in the world. Cisco is one of the largest networking company in the world. He said there are two types of company: those that have been attacked, or those that are not aware they've been attacked. So all of us is going to be attacked. Okay, it's not a function of if you're attacked. It's when. All right. So we're going to be all be attacked. The question is, how do you respond if there is an incident? The third thing we're going to deal with is building policies. At the end of the day, we need to have a foundation of right guideline, policies, procedure within your organization, right? The fourth one, we're going to talk about risk assessment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge piece of the puzzle. A lot of organizations need people that can actually perform risk assessment. It's a big deal. Other thing we'll talk about is general threat landscape in general. And I'll make you all for the next couple of weeks, daily, Monday through Thursday, weekdays, and Friday, weekdays, we're going to be listening to cyber news. We at Skillweed also have our news broadcast. So daily, we'll try and make sure we keep it consistent and share those information with you. You digest them. You have an idea of what are the news, the trends in cyber in general. Then we get into cyber threat overview, then data privacy, data governance. All of these roles are areas some of our team have gotten jobs. We get into disaster recovery and business continuity. We are saying if there's a disaster, right? What is the strategy to keep business going? So you treat things like business impact and as analysis for us. Then we get into basic of threat intelligence. So we're saying, okay, threat intelligence, say, how do we gather all the intelligence on the upcoming threat within our business to understand how we as an organization can respond? Then we get into foundation of IT general controls. Now, in the past, we didn't touch this, but we had to because some of the jobs out there are requesting people that have knowledge of SOX control. SOX, it's a regulation, Sabinoxley 404. So we have to teach that. So it's part of our program too. We get into the basic of identity and access management. so that you have a foundation of it to understand the concept around IAM. Then we get into the framework. The framework, we're going to do a lot of lab, ISO 27001, NIST framework. And ladies and gentlemen, don't be carried away by all what I'm saying. If it's new to you, don't stress it at all. Okay. By the time you're out of our circle, this is going to be part of your normal lingua. So don't sweat it at all. Okay. Then regularly we talk about regulations. Regulation, think about this. A few weeks ago, let's say 2, 3 months ago or so, Facebook was fined 1.3 billion euro, I believe, for GDPR violation, which is just the European Union privacy violation for member states, right? So that's a big one also. So those are the key things you will see us get into. And let me tell you one thing, our focus in our program is simple. We only have one goal, period. Job, job. That's it. Now, we are not of the illusion. Sometimes, a lot of us, some of us on this call, your thinking is, oh, well, there should be a certification, there should be a path. Ladies and gentlemen, relax, okay? In the order of things for us, our focus is first economy, meaning things to put food on the table for our team. The certification are always going to be later. And mostly in our resume, when we start, we always put the certification and put in bracket in view, meaning we are working towards it. People understand that it's not rocket science, not a big deal at all. Now, if you're on this call also, the typical thing I've heard, and let me tell you one of the mistake, and I'll challenge you, don't make this mistake, is somebody wakes up and say, "Yeah, I'm a smart dude, and the next thing I want to do is get into cyber." And I did it too. I think I'm one of those folks that I can always start figuring out stuff. The challenge with that is this: you're going to spend a lot of time, waste a lot of energy, because there's so much tons of resources and data out there that you will just be lost in the pool of it. Today you say, well, maybe I'll start with cloud, I'll start with this Cisco training, I'll start with, then you are so overwhelmed, you are so stressed, it becomes a quagmire. You're just so much in pain because it's just everywhere. My goal is at the end of the program, it will streamline you. Your knowledge base will still be intact because you can now apply it to different areas of the domain areas we focus on, but you are now more laser focused. That's all. I'm just putting it together for you to make it more effective for you. Keep your knowledge base, be hungry, keep learning, but let's put it together now. If you're everywhere, honest truth is you get frustrated, then your last comment is, "This is not for me, it doesn't work." And the reason is because there's no mentorship to guide you. That's all. Not because of anything is wrong with you. But at times, we are all overwhelmed with information. Is now how do we effectively use those information to be much more successful? As simple as that. All right. Some general interesting fact, of course, I'll keep it simple. It's a no-brainer. We can all agree on this at the minimum. Cyber is here to stay. Not because anybody likes you and I, but because outside of most business cooperation, the next threat to them is cyber threat, because every system is using digital devices, systems to process their business. So, outside of your core operation, for example, if you're a food and beverage, your core operation and your core focus initially will be food safety, right, for your customers. But outside of that core food safety, the next risk would likely be cyber threat, because cyber can destroy everything once it's compromised, because your operational devices at the plant level, manufacturing level, cyber can also come there. So where even your supply chain can be obstructed with cyber. So everything is tied to that. As a matter of fact, every organization today, it's required for somebody in the board, right, to be knowledgeable and savvy about cyber. So when I do assessment, for example, some of us, the first thing, one of the questions you must ask is to the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, is the board aware of cyber threat? It's a common question. So we expect people to know about cyber threat. It's a big deal. Okay. All right. Let's talk about I'm honored to be your mentor. You guys didn't come for me. You don't care. No big deal. Well, I've been privileged to be head of delivery of a global consulting firm in operation technology also. So the experience is there. I know what the industry is looking for. So I'm pretty savvy to know what are the needs people are looking for. I also own vendor relationship in that capacity also. So I know the likes of Cisco, Fortinet, all these big players. So I know what people are looking for in this space. Okay. So, and I'll guide you just to give you what's important, remove all the filters of things that are rubbish, really, at the end of the day for you. All right. Some things I'll skip, you can read your own. Overview of GRC governance, risk, and compliance. Our program is kind of different because we kind of broke it down to cover so many areas so that we can function in multiple areas. That's the goal for me. I mean, I I love knowledge. I'm sure most of us on this call, we are students of life. And when I say student of life, just stay hungry. Never get out of the zone of being a student. Just always treat yourself as a student, willing to learn. And believe it or not, you are going to reverse mentor me if you or when you get a position that I've never touched before, or you work on project I don't have a clue, then it's going to be reverse mentorship. We love it here. In our community, it's all about reverse mentorship. So none of us is going to be a mentor forever. No, heck no. That we don't play that game. Because we are all leaders, so we challenge ourselves to leadership and say, okay, you know what? This project you work on, I've never worked on it. Can you give me materials about it? Give me some insight. How did you approach it? And I still do it till now, right? It's a normal trend. If any of our team is working on a project I've never worked on, I jump on it. Another common question people ask me, let's say God's willing, you start a project tomorrow, maybe in the next 2 months. God, life is faithful to you. God is good to you. You get a job, and I'm one of the folks I like to ask my team, yes, if it's going to be long term, then of course supporting you have that's a different conversation. But most times I love to want to see your project because it forces me to think and so okay, this is the way I would approach it. 95% of the time, it has worked out well for us, really. The knowledge base, the value I bring and the community bring helps our folks implement their project effectively. And I love it because to me, it's an opportunity to learn a new area and expose me. So why would I not like it? So if somebody asks me, are you going to be there to support me when I get a, go get me an offer first. That's the least of my worry. Once you get an offer and you ask, hey, you have this project, I will be the first to run. I want to see it. Not because I necessarily even like you, but because I like myself enough to say, hey, this is knowledge for me too, really. So it's a win-win. Definitely I want to be part of your project. I want to see it. I want to give you my insight. I want to see what I will recommend, what I think would be effective for you. And for me, it's just the thrill, the enjoyment, the excitement to keep me fresh and relevant. So the answer is yes, we will always be part of your project. If you are stuck, we'll give you our insight. And thankfully, the likes of other AI models to help us to even research faster, like ChatGPT and other models out there, we can research faster. It doesn't mean we're going to use it to do our job, but it helps us to be more efficient and effective. Okay. So I'm not worried at all. I'll skip this. This is just talking about the areas we'll cover. Figured the areas that I think are core important to bring us opportunities. That's the one I care about. So I'll focus on those already. I'll skip some of this. We just talk about some interesting facts out there in general. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is a crazy, crazy time in terms of risk. A few weeks ago, maybe you guys heard the news. In the Midwest, a hospital system totally collapsed. Cyber attack. It affected places in, I believe, Colorado, California, a couple of other places. And believe it or not, nurses started filling their patient information manually with paper. It was so bad that payroll could not be triggered. Now, if payroll is touched, you would agree with me, it's pretty bad. Payroll of some folks could not be processed. It was so bad, really. So it's a big deal. So in the past, historically, when there's cyber attack, people spear, there are some sacred people you don't touch, NGOs, hospitals. But now it's crazy. It's wild, wild west. Everybody's the target. Hospital is even a favorite target right now. It's crazy. So it means for my nurses, doctors on the call, nurses on the call, medical folks on the call, yes, it is big in the healthcare sector now. Of course, EPA, right? PHI, personal health information, these are huge need right now. Like anything else, you would all agree with me. We put the time, we put the effort to build our capacity over time. So that's not a big deal. All right, let's quickly talk about what vulnerability is just a weakness, risk, possibility of something bad happening, a threat, an entry or actor that can exploit a weakness or a vulnerability. Okay. In the world of cyber, if you don't mind, can we all type CIA real quick? I'll just, let me make us a little bit smarter. CIA simply means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In the world of cyber, those words are sweet. Even if you're not smart, tonight, if you are in a meeting and somebody say, "Oh, well, what do you know about cyber?" And you say, "Well, it's focused on the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our data and our information." People will just look at you, okay, this guy, lady, I have an idea. They are smart. All right. Confidentiality is just saying our information is kept private and secured. Integrity is saying making sure nobody can modify our data out there. Right? Simple. Availability, believe it or not, it might sound like, well, what does that mean? It's equally important, especially when we talk about operational technology. And that means like all our plants, manufacturing centers. Imagine if a company that manufacture, let's say, Lupron, prostate cancer drug, or any medication for lung cancer, any kind of cancer, right? This is oncology study patient, and the manufacturing plant is not available. Think for a second the impact, right? So for them, people in manufacturing, they don't care about confidentiality and integrity. They don't care. Leave that to corporate, all this enterprise finance. They don't care. But for them, it's availability. Then another bias piece. Let me sneak that in. For folks in plants, you guys will agree with me, availability ties to bonus. If I'm a plant manager and you're telling me you want to shut down my plant, you think I will allow you? You're kidding me. No way. Heck no, I'm not going to allow it because I'm thinking, hey, if you shut down my plant for 5 hours, wow. Think about let's say a plant that manufacture cars or a plant that manufacture beverage. Let's say, our regular beverage. Think about them shutting down for a few hours. Or let's even say Amazon plants. You know, think about the impact for a few hours. It's going to be crazy, right? So we can all agree on that. So that's just the whole idea about it. It's a big deal. Then we're going to talk about different framework in cybersecurity in general. So let me get to the core of it so that most of us can, go enjoy our evening. The frequently asked questions, then please type your questions, type any kind of a question you have. I would show some of those questions also. But let me just address a few. Is programming required? Let's keep it simple. That's one of the most popular ones. No, programming, coding. No, 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 no. I know some of you that attended our workshop for interview. Some people applies to some roles that are like data analytics, data role, because they have prior background. So for those, yes, they can apply to those roles, but most of us don't target those. Okay, I'll still support you. Whatever role you apply, if they call you to go for interview, it's our responsibility to make sure we can try and support you as much as we can, right? We always ask for 48 hours notice to try and get you into our Lions Den scenario. But if not, we would, even if it's a 5 minutes call to give you an idea of pointers, we try to make sure we support our team as much as possible. It's a responsibility for us, really. We take it serious. Do I need to be a US citizen to get into this? No. Most of our own targets, 95% in my opinion, are private. Now, occasionally you might have a need to apply to government roles, if that's your goal, yes, you can also do that. But you have to be a citizen to apply for government job. But most of us, green card, work authorization is fine, from what I've seen. So we should be good there. I have no IT background, no problem. On one condition. So everybody on this call, if you are part of our program, I challenge you every day. Listen, man, because we are getting into a new field. And listen, I don't know, some of us like sport, right? Make it a competition in your mind internally to say, decide now because you are getting into this, you want to be the best at it. And you'll all agree with me, to be the best, we have to put a little bit of time. And I'm challenging you, the time I'm asking is reasonable. In the next 45 days of your life, outside of the class time, do me one favor and commit to it. Give me 1 hour a day, personal study time, 1 hour only. Honestly, you're going to be a monster professionally. And that 1 hour might be reading articles on cyber, listening to my class, listening to our news. You're driving, you're just listening, taking the kids to games, and you're just listening. Just be soaked into the ecosystem for the next 45 days. I know it will change your life professionally because a lot of things will just start making sense. You start seeing things different going forward. And in 45 days, it will happen. Really, I know that for a fact. And you'll be one of the folks coming to our hot seats to prepare for your interview. I know that, but put the work. We don't want to play games, right? We don't want to be fair, right? Because we all can agree because it's a new thing we are trying to do, right? It will require some little work on your side. I've streamlined things that are relevant to you. honestly, just focus on the work I give you. Don't even don't be distracted. Just focus on the work I give you. Then go back to the work again. Start using it mentally for scenarios for interview. If that's all you do, you'll be fine. I know that because most of the and make no mistake, every scenario you see us give you are real life projects. All right. It's like you and I, some of you brought projects for me to support. I just changed the name of the client, use the same scenario for my class. Same thing for the ones I've done, change the name of the client, use the same scenario for us because this is real, right? So none of them is some fiction. No, they are all real projects. All right. So take it as such and make sure you enjoy the experience also. Okay. All right. Another one, do you help with resume? Yes. This is the list of our worry. There are so many ways we do it now. We have solid prompt to help you develop resume quick. And even with the resume, we try to tell you also for some targeted job, you can even still customize to those jobs. Okay. So that one is easy now. Um, do I need to commit a lot of time? You would agree with me. I think I said that already. Please just have fun, enjoy it. Don't make it a burden. Make it fun. Just give yourself, I mean, just enjoy the the process also. It's a 1 hour thing every day that you personally use for your own personal fun time. And some of the fun thing is just listening to a cyber news on YouTube and you're doing a normal life, cleaning the house, but it's playing on the background. But the beautiful thing is this, I can guarantee you over time, some of the terms will just start making sense. Then you come to class and you tell us, hey guys, I saw this on the news the other day. They talked about this on the I love that experience. I love to see my folks that were not cyber start talking about stuff like that. It gives me chills because you just realize that you're different. Your knowledge is different. And you can now start applying for roles, which is great to me. I mean, so that's another good one out there. What kind of computer? It doesn't matter. Mac, Windows. It's any one of the computer is fine. Some people use their phone, but I always like us to be, treat it very educational. So create time, get a space for yourself, quiet, preferably when we have the lectures to have the best experience in general. Sites to apply to. We've seen most of our successful stories: LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and now we are working with some other folks that would help market our team too. But we don't count on that fully. I just want my folks to get a job, however it happens, whatever means. So we go all out, every means, to make it happen for our team. What are some roles we can search for after our program? All of the roles you see here are roles I've seen some of our folks successfully get a job. So I would say any of this role. Now, there are some tricks I see to it. The way I look at it is simple. I always tell everyone if you look at the job function, whatever the title, whatever they call it, if 60 to 70% of the function or responsibility there are things that you can do, then just apply. That's the rule of thumb for us. If you look at it and it says, well, I think 60% or more I can understand or do it, then apply. Just go in for it. And we'll support you. So come to the Lions, then we'll brainstorm together. The one we don't know, we'll simulate, figure it out together. So just go all in. All right. Do you need experience to begin this? No, you don't. But because if you tell me you're new, you don't have any knowledge, the beautiful thing, I always chuckle and say this sincerely. In the past, we can get away with saying, well, I have zero IT, I don't know anything about it. Not anymore. All of us on this call, you would agree if I come to your house or you come to my house, the first thing we ask each other is, please, can I get your network ID? If you don't trust the person, you're not going to give them your network ID because it's like the key to the kingdom of your network, right? If you travel out of the states or out of your location, it will have geolocation and it will say, hey, can you put a one-time password? So the bank will force us to even, put a one-time password. So most times now, all of us are setting up multi-factor authentication. It's the same thing. If I have a server administrator in a company, I would ask them, did you enable MFA? I mean, it's if I am doing it as an individual, then if you're a cyber administrator that you're having access to a big institution and enterprise, you should have it set up. It's the same principle, you know. So the ecosystem has forced us really to be part of the IT system, especially after COVID. A lot of people started working remotely, so now people are logging in through VPN. People are logging in through a secure tunnel. People are doing secure file transfer. So now everybody is kind of trained to be part of that ecosystem. I always give a joke that, my parents are close to 80. Guess what? They use Uber, they use Lyft. They are probably more savvy than I am, right? With those technology, they use WhatsApp, they use Facebook. So now think about it, right? So the system has forced us. I mean, in other part of the world too, people use their mobile devices, SMS for mobile payments, right? So a lot of changes has forced all of us to be part of that ecosystem in general. So I think anyone that is willing to put the time will be fine. I'm not worried. And we have a basic foundation class. If you go to academy.skillweed.com, the program is there. It's just amazing. Just take advantage of it real quick. Um, does this role require a meeting? Yes. Sometimes you would have to coordinate and talk and be part of a meeting for sure. So I always encourage at least be present when we are doing the program. Make sure you are active within your group because we have groups that we work together. So just be very involved. And the nice thing is that it's not rocket science. Mostly when you go for a meeting, just make sure at least you understand the topic you want to talk about. So in 5-10 minutes of quick research, you can quickly have a grasp of some of the key things to talk about within your meeting. So it's not a big deal in my opinion. All right. So is certification required? The answer is no. You might see certification listed. It doesn't mean that I can say this confidently. 80% of folks within our group that are hired don't have certification. Most people get the certification once they get a job. Now they are writing certification. Now, when you're applying, you can put certification and put in bracket in view, meaning we are working towards it. People understand that. That's the normal trend. Okay. All right. Let me see if we have some questions here. Let me pause for a second. All right. Let's see. Let's take some questions because okay, let me show the schedules. Okay, so the schedule is simple. We're going to start this Saturday. It will go through 25th of October, and it's going to be Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. On Saturdays, it's going to be 2 to 4:30 Central Time. Sunday 2 to 4:30 Central Time. On Wednesdays 8 to 9:30 Central Time, and we make sure we try to keep to time. Most time we don't go more than 5 minutes. We are out, and we are very efficient, straight to the point. What we came here for. 5 weeks of your life, we are done, and we keep supporting each other even after the program. And I'm sure most of our folks can attest to that. It's not like, oh, a lot of people tell me, well, are you guys going to be supporting after? Yeah, absolutely. Not because we like you necessarily, even though we do, but because we know that it's smart for us to support our community. Your success is a reflection of us. So we are sensible enough to know that really. So it's not even a question to ask personally. I think it's almost it's crazy not to support my team, you know. I mean, if my team is successful, guess what? You bring your family too to our program. You refer us well. So it's important we go out of our way to see, and I'm sure a lot of you on this call would attest. Sometimes I feel we're even overwhelming our folks with a lot of information and all that stuff. But sometimes it's just the way to make you much more informed and successful at the end of the day. So whatever it takes to make you successful, we'll try. We're not going to guarantee everything would always work the way we plan, but we'll try hard together. And if we do that collectively, good things always happen. So I'm not worried. All right, let's see. Okay, the cost for the program, most of you already know this. It's 799. We have payment plan option. You can go there and select the payment plan option that is available also twice and 3 times. Interesting data just to highlight for people. Most people that are our most successful folks, I'll give you the data, are people that once they are done with the program, immediately they start applying. If you don't apply immediately, now let me tell you this. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes one of the tricky thing I've seen is it's easy to think you're smarter than a system or a process. That's all of us think, right? But I'm here to tell you, sorry, to bust your bubble a little bit. Most of us are never smarter than the system. 99% of us are never. There might be outliers, right? So if I tell you, for example, historic data for the last 15 years, people that are successful are people that once they finish a program, they start applying immediately, right? You might say, well, that's them. I'm different. No, you're not. I am not. None of us is different, right? There are some trend that would the pattern is predictable. It's not. There's nothing you can do about it, really. You might think you're better than or cooler than the system. You're not. So if I tell you, After a program, start applying. And you say, well, I want to take my time and I'll come back later. No. What will happen is that life would happen to you and I, right? Most times life would happen not because of your fault, but life happen, other priority takes place, family, kids, loved ones, everything just then you realize that in the scheme of things, those are more important things than your goal immediately. So I believe in momentum. So once you're done, just start applying immediately. Don't waste your time. Don't second guess. It's okay. And that's why we have the lions then. We'll prepare you. It's okay to get some no's. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not our dad's business or our mom's business, you and I will get some no, and that's okay. Not a big deal. Don't get personal. Don't get depressed because somebody said no to a job. No big deal. We apply to other ones. Don't even sweat it at all. Okay, but that's going to happen to all of us. A few of us are lucky. Maybe after first two job interview application, you get a job. God bless your heart. Some of us are not like that, really. We just keep pushing until the universe open for us. So don't be discouraged. Immediately start applying. Don't waste your time. I personally feel sad when I see very smart, bright people do a program and they don't apply or start pushing out resume. You know, Unfortunately, you cannot get a job without applying, right? There's no miracle that would happen if you are not applying. So it's really painful at times when you see very smart, intelligent people, but they're not applying. So the question is, you're not applying, we are in a box because you can't get an offer if you don't apply, right? So those are but things being equal, be done with the training, start applying immediately. Don't waste your time. Don't second guess. Just start applying. Make the mistake. We correct you at the Lions, then we help you out and we support each other. Okay. So don't sweat that at all. No IT experience, no problem. And that's really the core of it. Let me take some of the questions from our folks. Please type your questions, whatever you think, whatever area you are worried about, just type it out. I'll show some of them. Somebody said, what's the best strategy to get higher chance of being called for an interview? Okay, let me put that question out there. What's the best strategy to get higher chance of being called for an interview? All right. So the way I look at it personally, there are two things I can think about. Number one, the game of numbers, volume. So when you are done with our program, for example, I'll tell you, it might sound crazy. I always tell my team, apply to 10 jobs a day for the next 2 weeks. That's going to put us at 140 jobs. Apply to. Out of the 140 jobs, let's say 10% comes back, first phase. That is 14 b- jobs that came back, right? Out of the 10% that comes back, let's say 20% takes you to face. That is about three. Ladies and gentlemen, we only need one job, right? So I think we'll take that at the end of the day. So that's the way I kind of play it. We play sales game. Once you're done with the training, just go all in, all in. Put the work, put the time, just go aggressive, okay? All right, good. Somebody said, are we getting certificates after the program? Yes, we get a certificate of attendance. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, the nice thing is we have a tool we partner with Risk Rhino, an e-GRC tool. So we're going to train you on that too. So you get certification from both of us, really. Cyber Risk Rhino and Skillweed, which is great. I mean, it's we should feel proud about that. But more importantly, is just remember our focus is skill. We need you to get a job. Yeah, you get a certificate, and we are proud of it. Our program and curriculum is very rich, and for the curriculum and program, you can use it to count towards your CPU credits. If you have certification, you can use it to count for your credit too. For our program, over 40 hours of credits that it will count towards your CPU also, so which is good. Let's see. Somebody said, "Oh, this is my brother here." All right, love to you, Austin. Awesome, awesome, brother. Austin, okay, you got to be in to win it. Yes, let's take that. We got to be, and Austin is an amazing. He has a business that does networking, security, also amazing, amazing. One of the best, brightest in the world. So I would always advocate for him. Yep. So I agree with Austin. You got to be in to win. And let me take another one from Austin here. Is the CEO of Zero One Data Solutions. So thank you, brother. 20 jobs a day, every day. I like that. That is aggressive. Honestly, I would support that. Really. Sometimes, remember, we get to put on sales mode, going crazy, just going aggressively. Every day, apply to a lot of jobs. Make it a volume game. Just apply to a lot of jobs. If that's what you're looking for, just go all in because the statistics will favor you when you do that, right? Now, some of us will say, well, I just take things easy. Ooh, man, that breaks my heart because you sometimes when you do that, you're kind of limiting your potential because you're not aggressive. Go all in if you want to look for a job. I mean, you can't apply one job a day, then you expect the result from someone that is applying 20 jobs a day. It's just two different momentum, okay? All right, let's take another one. Thank you, Austin. Do we adjust our resume to meet the job requirement? Okay, so it depends. Sometimes because of the volume, you might have a vanilla application, yes, but some targeted jobs, let's say you have certain jobs, let's say you're targeting some big four, some areas that you look at the job profile, you want to customize it, you can customize it. And the beautiful thing is this, you can use ChatGPT to focus on keywords of a job functionality to build your resume. So, I would make sure. Yes, you might not be able to do customization for every 10 job for 14, that's 140 job. And if you can do that, that's perfect. But target at least out of your 10 daily, maybe like 3 to 4 that you can target towards certain keywords to customize it for that role. Then you post that. So it's some patience you have to give yourself for 2 weeks, right? Because you're gonna be you plan the strategy and be aggressive to do it. Okay. So that's what I would say. Is the lecture pre-recorded? Absolutely. All our programs is pre-recorded. We have a learning management system. You have access to everything. It's recorded, every of our materials. So you have a portal for yourself. You log in, you get all your information. So yeah, that's covered. Don't sweat that part out at all. How can an alumni train on Risk Rhino? All right, my alumni typically I always send you guys a link, a voucher to take it if you want to be part of just that Risk Rhino class. Now, for those of us that are new, in the past we didn't have the partnership with this solution provider, and but we just did the partnership like 3 months ago or so. So now we use their platform. We work together with our partners. Our certification is actually jointly given, so their certificate, their signature, ours is also there to which is great. I mean, it's a big company globally, Risk Rhino, Google them. So we have a solid partner with us that works with us, so which is great. That's another one. How is the lecture going to be? It's going to be Zoom calls. And once you register, you have access to the link. Then we have WhatsApp group. We have groups that we work together. And don't worry, it's a model that is very effective. So you're going to have your working group. And we monitor everything. So it's very effective. Don't worry about that. So you would have like a family within the family. So it's well close knitted group. A lot to learn. It's amazing. You'll be surprised what can happen in 5 weeks. Would there be recording after classes if people cannot meet up? Absolutely. Yes, there's recording. We answer that. Okay. Austin said, let's see this. Copy the job description to Chat GPT and ask it to create resume based on the job description. That's another brilliant thing. Yep, we recommend that too. Let's see. When are we sending the voucher? For my alumni folks, don't worry, we'll get that to you. What's up? One should have in mind to take after the class. Okay, some certification that we recommend. There's one I was part of the panel that built the curriculum and the exam. Really, it's called OCGGRCP. So I was part of the panel that was involved in that. Really, so I like them because because I was part of their group, right? So I like them. GRCP is the certification and you can also get and I think you can get two certification from them, grcp, grca, amazing body, oceg. The founder is a friend of mine, Scott. So I recommend them big time, oceg. So you can definitely take theirs. The other one is c risk. Some people take c risk or cisa or CSIM. Any of them is fine, but grcp, I like them because you can't fail it. You can repeat it as many times as possible. I've never seen anybody fail it because there is a lot of we have some past question we can share. Then there's also a lot of documents that reflect the exam, and it's open book. You take your time, so I would recommend that for sure. All right, let's see this one. Just go to the website. You'll see the information on the payment plan. The payment deadline, well, before the class kicks off on Saturday. So the class kicks off in the next 2 days. Now, another thing I'll throw out, please always be, we have this weekly touch point for folks preparing for interview. We call it the Lions Den. Be part of it as much as you can. The advantage of it is you just get to learn from other people. And the beautiful thing about that platform is that it's not me. Just the way we are corresponding now, everybody's idea coming. Areas I miss, they would tell me, "Hey, can you ask this question?" So I see all the comments and I ask those questions, and it helps our folks. To me, it's surreal because it's amazing. One of the ladies that attended last week, she told me, "Hey, I've been pushed to the final phase right now." That's awesome. That's what we want. There's no angle beside. We want you guys to get an offer. So make sure you're always part of that community. Invite others, and even it's recorded so you can always go back to listening. But it's just nice because when you are now at the spot to have those interview yourself, at least you would have an idea of the kind of questions people have been asked, and it will prepare you mentally for the next thing. Definitely. All right, let's see, any other question. Feel free, folks, and ask all the questions, please. Another thing I'll post out is, please, if you don't mind, like our YouTube page and click the notification so that if anything new is coming up, you guys can have access to it. I'm also going to share the link for the class registration right now so you have access to it so that you guys can have access to that too. That's another question. Let me see. Okay, I think I addressed that. Let's see. Yeah, just go to academy.skillweed. Everything is there. Let me take one more question or two more, then we let you guys go enjoy family time. Any other questions? Any other questions? I would also attach a WhatsApp link for those of you that want to be part of getting all the. Okay, somebody just responded. Let's see. Somebody said, um, okay, I like this. Somebody said, can you move the Lions Den to evening? Ha 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 ha. Okay, I like that. So that is a possibility. Um, I will take a poll within our community to see if people prefer evening or the midday, and I'll tell you why. You know. So, o- Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Austin. If you don't mind, can you all like this broadcast on YouTube so that more people can have access and see it? Please, it's important. It helps the algorithm to see us and get more people to see what's going on. Just like it if you don't mind, and share with others if you want to. That would be great. For that question about the timing, I'll think about it and ask more people. I know evenings are better, but we don't want to have a lot of things happening in the evening to take people away from their family time. So we are mindful of that. So we try to see if we can sneak in break time and get people to do it at that point in time. But let me share some polls, and actually for me also it's a lot of work to do a lot of things in the evening, right? So that you don't lose your family time too, right? So we got to balance it out. All right, that's another one. I recommend OCG GRC because you could use the same amount to get there four. Oh, thank you, Annie. I like this. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, I like this. Thank you. Let me share this comment. This is beautiful comment actually. I like it. This is good. For me, I may be a little bit biased, but at least Annie is not biased. I'm biased because I was part of the panel that reviewed that document and all that stuff. So, it might, but this is great. This is a good point. With the OCEG certification, you have four certification, one on privacy, one on audit, one on GRC. What's the fifth one? Fourth one, Amy? I know there's another one, which is great. So you can use one to get like four certification with them, which is fantastic. So um, just go do it. I mean, it's easy. I've not seen anyone that failed it, and we can always leverage them. So full disclosure, yeah, I was part of their panel that reviewed their document, but I don't get a cut for them. But it's just a good program. I like them. So that's another one. Wanted to come out if the topics is at listed is as listed. If the topics is as listed. If the topics is as listed. Well, our program, once you register, you see the breakdown. The way I listed it right now would not be the flow. Week one covers overview of every topic. So asset man. So if you know NIST framework, ISO framework, all those core domain area, we'll talk about it. Because my goal is none of you will be in a meeting and they talk about stuff and you will be confused or you will not have heard it before. There will be familiar ground for you to be successful. Okay. Let's see. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, the other fourth certification you get from this body is integrated policy management professional. Beautiful. I love it. That's so honestly, you know what? I'm getting even more excited. You guys should just go do the um OCEG GRCP. That's what I would recommend right now. Now, of course, ISACA has their own series, CISA, and all that stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, like I said, our focus is job. That's the focus for us here. Then certification can come later. But if you are really hungry for certification, just go take OCG. You'll be fine. They are well known. And, I went to review from a leadership point of view myself, from a global consulting firm to partner to help them review their documents. So they really appreciate it. So it's a good body. I think you should do their certification. I feel convinced. All right, look at what Emmy wrote. Okay, let me show you the certification so you guys can see it. GRCP, GRCA, IPMP, IDPP with one fee yearly. Bingo, love it. I have the GRCP and GRCA. I don't even have the IPMP and IDPP. So I'll probably see if I can grandfather it. That is awesome. Love it. Love it. So I think you guys should just go do that one. Over time, they'll realize that we are the ones taking over that certification. But more importantly, like don't get confused or twisted, folks. Our focus is one thing. If you let me see whether we connect. One focus. Can we all type what the focus should be? Let me see if we are connected. One focus. JOB. Can we type it? JOB. That's it. Every other certification, if you have certification and you can't put food on the table, um, my wife is going to kick me out. You know, I would say, "Are you serious? Really? We are going to eat certification?" I don't know about you all. Maybe people have nice spouses. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it's about action. We want a job. We want a job. We want a job. Really. Now, I'm not saying certifications are not good, but guess what? Skillweed is going to start offering professional certification too, right? Does that mean that our focus should be certification? No. The focus is skill, job. Can you do the job? That's the focus for us, really, because that's what will bring food for us. The rest is good, but in the scale of priority, I need a job first. And the beautiful thing is that people understand when you say it's in view, we are working towards it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, let's see if we can take one more question and we'll let you all go. We'll take one more question. All right. Thank you so much for being part of our community. Much appreciated. Austin, brother, thank you so much. And everybody told me, Annie, Sharon, Alice, Sandra. Oh, Sandra says, Ayola, awesome. Akpati, Adekunle, you guys are super awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Spread the word. Let's impact one person at a time. Don't forget to like us, be part of our community, keep spreading the word. We can make a difference. Thank you so much. God bless.